question on this independent directors question. You know, companies have made mockery of this entire independent directors thing. They bring their own, you know, friends of friends, wives, sister, everybody as, say, independent directors, either to fulfill that to 50% norm or even to, say, get, say, one woman director on board. So do independent directors in the larger scheme of things actually add value? One, because the company pays them a remuneration. Do you expect them to be really independent? Second is, if you are having a cozy club of independent directors where there is no really outside or very independent infusion of talent, does it really make sense? Of course, you know, we are following global norms. Globally, everybody has independent directors, but in India or anywhere else, does it really make sense?
I am happy you said that this debate is going on not only in India but also outside India, because who is an independent director and how he is appointed, both are very important questions. And I don't think any final decision has been taken and the debate has not yet been closed. But the examples that you gave, that somebody's wife or somebody's brother can be made an independent director, that part has been taken. That is not possible. The definition of who cannot be an independent director is reasonably clear, and that cannot be avoided. But in your example, when you said somebody's friend, it is possible, because a friend is very difficult to define by law. So anybody can be a friend and it can be inducted. But how effective the independent directors can be and how you incentivize them, this is again a question on which company by company there has to be more and more transparency. I'll inform you, for example, that earlier there was no research report on more than 1500 companies in NSE. Now we have ensured that on all the companies there is a research report today available. If nobody else is paying, NSE is paying for it, but we have mandated that research report is there. But the concept of independent director, and there are some purists, and I know a particular professor in Oxford University who seriously doubts the whole concept of independent director. But then the question is, what is the alternative? That nobody is coming forward with. So within the limitations of doing something which is implementable by law, whatever we have tried to do is an improvement from the past. Let us take it that way. And the second thing is, we have to remain alert. If we remain alert and start debating these things in certain sectors of the economy or in certain companies, then that will draw the attention of the investors. And lastly, world over and more so in India, the informed investor or institutional investors who are minority by very nature, they have started playing a very important role. I need not name, but you can easily find out that in the last 2-3 years, there have been several examples where the minority shareholders have agitated about certain management decisions, and in fact, in one case in a very large company, they were even able to ensure that the proposal to enhance the compensation of the CEO was shot down. In India, nobody could have imagined 2-3 years back that this can happen, but it was shot down. So minority shareholders, especially institutional ones, are playing a role. SEBI has played a small role in this, that we have asked mutual funds that they must have a voting policy and they must have a record of their voting on their website. And lastly, the proxy advisory firms have also become very active nowadays. So it's all a combination of forces which can help improve corporate governance.
On the women directors, there's not a criteria of them being independent. So, but the issue is, I mean, most of them, the numbers speak for themselves. That the number of women who have been inducted are wives or friends or some relative. In that case, I mean, does it solve the purpose of them of getting women on board? Because ideally, a company and a director on board should be helpful to the company in some form or the other. But if they're not qualified, if they don't have the work experience and they're just relatives and being inducted just because because the independent criteria is not there, I mean, do you think it solves the purpose? And was that something that was thought about initially when?
Yes. It was thought about. You see, there has to be a difference between a pure academic debate and something which can be implemented and which is implementable by law. We are talking of a situation or dealing with a situation which has a force of law. So it was very seriously discussed in SEBI board, and we felt that while that is the desirable goal, if we insist upon it in the first instance, it will be very difficult to implement. So we took a conscious call that let there be some diversity in the board to begin with. For SEBI, it is not a very difficult call to take tomorrow, for example, that from next 6 months, after 6 months, the women directors have to be independent. That's a very easy call to take. So SEBI board decided that it will be done in stages. Also, when we found that it was not being implemented, you will discover that SEBI took immediate action. The penalties that we imposed, that was done immediately. So the intention was to implement it. You are right that family members have come in, and if they are coming because they want to meet the letter of the law, then it is really deplorable. But if those ladies are really competent, it's a very good development. But if it is being done to avoid the law, then it is deplorable. And I think we have to do it in a two-stage thing. That was the wisdom of the board.